A lot of people seem to have developed phobias of low ticket offers. And if you're someone who's mainly focused on high ticket sales, but you're not quite satisfied on the amount of revenue that you're bringing in, this video is for you. Because something common that I hear is the idea that high ticket is better than low ticket because it takes the same amount of effort to sell, but with high ticket, obviously you just make more money. So why would you decide to go with low ticket? A lot of people get this wrong, and this is a very reductionist approach to the question on how to price your products and services. Because it all depends on the kind of business that you're running and also your preferences and skills. And ideally, one of the things that I'll teach you in this video is that you want to do both, because both low ticket and high ticket, they can be useful and good and they're compatible. But before I explain this to you, just so that we're clear throughout the entire video, when I say low ticket, I'm talking about products below $100. If I say medium ticket, it's anything between $100 to $2,000. And if I say high ticket, I'm referring to anything above $2,000. I know that some people only consider a high ticket 5K and above, or they consider a high ticket 10K and above. And some people even claim that 1 or 2K, that's like low ticket. You have to keep in mind that all of these depends on what industry you're in. And the aim of this video is not to debate what is exactly considered low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket. Okay, this is just so that you have a reference of what we're talking about. The first point I want to make is that this idea that I was kind of mentioning before, and I've heard some people say this, that high ticket and low ticket take the same amount of effort to sell. So for example, if you were to sell $100 thing, 200, 300, it's gonna take the same amount of effort as selling a $5,000 thing or $2,000 thing. That is incorrect. Okay, what's happening here is that some people are confusing and mixing up different concepts and ideas. So to give you context, I've done a lot of low ticket in the past. I used to do e-commerce back in the day. I reached 6 figures per month with my stores, and most of the stuff that I sold, it was below $100. In fact, I think at our peak revenue, our average order value, I think it was around $81. And 95% of the customers we had were new customers. They were not repeat customers. And we were making a lot of money and we were highly profitable. And let me tell you, selling stuff below $100, it is ridiculously easy. There's no sales calls, no DMs, and no direct interaction with the customer. To sell a $100 product, a simple website with a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute VSL can already do the conversion. Now, this doesn't mean that making 100K a month with low ticket offers is low effort and you have to do nothing. What you have to understand is that every single sales system, no matter how you spin it, it will require energy inputs. But the energy inputs will have to go to different areas. So when you're doing low ticket sales, your energy is not spent on directly interacting with the customer to make them buy. Instead, your energy is spent on scale, on acquiring volume, on getting traffic. Maybe you're doing paid ads or organic, whatever. Then also your energy is spent on optimizing your funnel. A lot of effort goes into this so that the customer can just easily buy by themselves. It is all a smooth process, and you focus a lot on your copywriting and the upsells and downsells, even the design, just smoothing out the whole funnel and the whole system, because all of this is very automated so that it's a seamless experience for the customer. But on high ticket instead, then you spend a lot of energy on things such as qualifying the customers, building that report. Maybe in your business, it's also required that you send DMs, and then obviously doing the sales calls so that you can persuade them one-on-one live. Here's the thing, like there's a lot of effort in both. It's just different ways to go about it and different systems, but both can make loads of money. And which one you should go with depends on what business you're running, your skills, your preferences. But what is not true is that low ticket is harder or that it's not worth it. All of this is completely nonsensical, because I get the feeling that nowadays a lot of the business content that you consume online is mainly focused on teaching you on how to do high ticket sales. And because that's all people learn, when they look at low ticket, they're looking at it through the lenses of a high ticket system. And then obviously it doesn't make sense to do these things right here when you apply them to $50 and $100 products. And also these things that I was mentioning, like focusing on scale, traffic, paid ads, optimizing your funnels, copywriting, all of these seems extremely complicated because basically you have not learned the skills. A subscriber of mine bought one of my consultation calls a couple days ago, and one thing that surprised me is that he genuinely thought that selling a $20 thing takes the same amount of effort as selling a $3,000 thing. And it's what I was telling you, like, yes, if you're going to apply the same system to both of them, which is getting on a sales call, then yeah, for sure, it's going to take the same amount of effort. But that's not how you sell $20 things. In fact, when you're selling something that's worth like $10, $20, $30, or just anything below $100. All of these, very often, they're just impulsive purchases. People know they're low risk because it's not a lot of money. So if you trigger the right emotions with your funnel, with your copywriting, they're willing to bite the bullet and just take the risk and buy right there and then, even if it's the first time that they've met you. Because as I was saying before, that's what I saw with e-commerce. We were just running ads and 95% of people, it was the first time that they had visited our store. And sometimes they would even spend more than $81. Sometimes it would be like $200, $300, because it's not that much money. So it's not such an important decision as someone who's thinking about spending 5K. Now, the cool thing, and what I want to talk about, is that you can have both. And I think this is what's interesting. What you could have is just something that maybe we could call it like a product funnel. And on top of it, you obviously have traffic, whatever it is for you. Maybe it's paid, maybe it's organic. And you take all this traffic and you throw it into your funnel. And on the first layer, the place where you're directing all of your traffic is your low ticket offer. This is the thing that you're selling for $100 or below. This can be something like a school community or some basic information product like an ebook, okay, whatever makes sense for your business. And because it's a low ticket offer, you will capture a wide share of the market. Then out of the people who buy that low ticket thing, then you sell them into something more medium ticket. Maybe you sell them a $500 course. Not everyone who bought the $100 thing will buy, but some of them will. Then out of those who bought the $500 thing, you sell them something that's higher level. Maybe you sell them on some group calls, and maybe those for you are $1,000. Then out of those who bought these, now you can take it one level higher, and maybe you can offer something that's one-on-one. Maybe it's a done with you or done for you. Maybe that's your $3,000 offer or 5K or whatever. And then from there, you can take it even higher. You can then offer, I don't know, whatever, your mastermind. Maybe it's like 15K or 20K. And through this process, what you're doing is the same as always. You're qualifying the customer. And it will be way easier to sell them the high level stuff because they already bought the low and medium level thing. And they were already able to experience that when they spend money with you and they buy your things, they receive a lot of value. So they will understand that as they go along and they spend more and more money with you, the value they will receive will keep increasing. So it will make sense for them to keep spending. And if your niche, for example, is business and you're teaching people how to make money online, you might even help people who were not able to afford your high-level courses or coaching or whatever. You might help them afford it because maybe they bought your low-level stuff that was valuable enough for them to get started, to start making some money, and now they will want more. So with the money they made, now they can buy your high level thing. I don't know if you've noticed, but very often Tai Lopez does high ticket meetups and masterminds, this sort of thing. And a lot of people who go there are people who back in the day, a few years ago, they bought some course from him that was maybe $400. And out of that course, they started a business. They started to make good money, they got positive results, and now they can happily spend 5K, 10K going to his meetups, masterminds, and even spending more money with other higher level stuff that he has. Because now these guys really, really trust him. Now, I know what some people think. I know there's this philosophy out there which is like, no, only one product, only one offer, only one funnel. Okay, people want to have this very super simplistic approach to business. Here's the thing. This works, it works perfectly, but that doesn't mean it always works better than the alternatives, okay? People very often, they like to throw these models as blank statements, like, no, this super simple thing is the best way to go about it. I don't know if you're aware, but there's this thing called the simplicity bias, and it's basically the tendency that we humans have of preferring simpler explanation compared to the ones that are more complex. So when someone comes along and they do these claims and, oh, I have this very simple system and this is how much money I've made, naturally we're drawn to these things, which again, they work perfectly. But if you're already doing this and the results that you're having, you're not happy with, well, it might be worth considering doing something slightly different, like what I'm proposing right here. Now, you might be thinking from the simplicity bias, like, hey, doesn't this apply to the customer as well? Like, are you not overwhelming the customer by having so many options right here? Not really, because the way we're presenting this is one thing at a time, right? We're offering the $100 thing from those who bought this, then we go to the 500 and 1,000, 3,000, 10,000, 20,000. So it's like one at a time. And you can also do 2 or 3. It's not so much about what you offer, but it's about how you offer it, how you present it. That's what determines if something is complex or easy to understand. So at the end of the day, any sales or pricing system could work. It's just all about cohesion. Like, does it make sense for the customer? And does it make sense for you, for your business, for your skills, for your preferences? Because if you don't have something that you can sell for 10K, then just don't do high ticket. Just do low and it's completely fine. Like, the goal at the end of the day is to make a lot of money, right? And you can make a lot of money with low ticket. Think about Amazon. How much do you think is the average order value on Amazon? It is not 5K, okay? And they're making a lot of money. I think like some people are limiting themselves because they're applying a high ticket system to a business that might function better if you apply some low ticket sales, or you can do some integration like the one I'm talking about right here. Now, I just want to make 3 final points, which are things that maybe some people who are watching this video are thinking. So I'm going to address them right now. The first one is that I believe there is this misconception that low ticket products mean low quality products, but that's not true, okay? You can have low ticket offers that are high quality. Now, the argument that a lot of people make, and this is something that Alex Hormozi kind of mentions, is that, well, why don't just increase the value and the quality a lot so you can also increase the ticket? And even some people think like, yeah, why don't we just make this massive bundle and we keep throwing things in and now we can sell something for $5,000. But there's a few issues with this, because one of the things that Alex Hormozi mentions is that the more targeted your offer, the easier it is to charge higher prices. But maybe you have not figured out exactly what is the ideal audience that is willing to spend these amounts of money. So if you're starting out, or you've maybe already been for a while in business, but things are not going as well as you would like, you can just be more flexible for a while, and then you can figure out exactly what is the market that's willing to pay so much money. And who knows, maybe you're in an industry that for some reason 5K just doesn't make sense. Now, the second thing that some people believe, and this is somewhat true, is that low ticket offers attract low quality customers. But there's 2 variables right here. First one is, what is it that you're promising? So if you're making ridiculous claims and you're promising things that are absolutely outrageous, you exaggerate things, and when most people look at it, they know it seems kind of off. Think about it, like the only people who are probably going to buy are people who are not that smart, okay? And those are usually the kind of customers that give you a lot of trouble. And then secondly, I also believe one of the factors that attracts low quality customers is you. The sort of content that you create works as a filter to the kind of people that you attract. Dumb content attracts dumb people. This is something that's very obvious, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet. If you're extremely unprofessional, you're too casual, you're constantly saying bro and brah and bruv, and you're swearing and you're calling your audience names and you're treating them as if they were stupid teenagers, guess who you're going to attract? Exactly the kind of people who identify as stupid teenager. Okay, so be mindful of these things. It's not so much just about the price, which, yes, for sure, it's a factor, but keep in mind these other 2 things that I just mentioned. I think very often the kind of customers that you attract is a good reflection of the sort of seller that you are. And the third thing that I want to mention is that you can always have a side avenue in which high-level people, if they're interested, they can skip this entire funnel and they can buy directly the high ticket stuff. You can do that, and it's very easy. I mean, it depends on what kind of business you're running. I don't know your specifics, but for example, if you have a social media presence, you can just say it from time to time, like, hey, if you're interested in working one-on-one with me, send me a DM on Instagram saying the word whatever, right? So from time to time, you can just mention it and people can just skip the line and go directly here for those who are highly qualified, they have the money and they trust you and they want to work with you at a high level. Maybe for some of you watching this video, this whole structure based on your business is not going to make sense, but just something to keep in mind for those who could adapt it, but you're just, as of right now, focused on high ticket sales. But if you're not satisfied, well, maybe this is something that you could consider. And remember that at the end of the day, the key to all of this, to making absolutely any system work, because I often mention this, like, I don't think it matters that much. Like, yes, for sure, sometimes some system might work better than some other, but at the end of the day, the true deciding factor that's going to determine whether something works or not is how much value can you offer. If this is your main focus and you're capable of building things that are valuable and people genuinely want and need, and you can make them understand and persuade them, whether it's with copywriting or whether it's with sales calls, whatever, and you make them understand that this thing is great and that is your core focus, like you genuinely want to help people, those people will just buy from you. A lot of people in the online business space nowadays, they're only focused on collecting money and learning how to do sales and marketing and all of these things, but they have absolutely no clue on how to build a valuable product or service. This is something that I've mentioned in some of my other videos, but I think this is a massive key ingredient that a lot of people just forget about. Okay, so just overall, don't be so extremist with how you see business and monetization, and think a little bit by yourself and what does make sense for you and your business and your situation. And above everything, be valuable, okay? So that's it. Subscribe to the channel because I post videos like these frequently. You can subscribe and go watch some of my other videos right now. Also, visit my website below. But for now, that's it. And hopefully I will see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.